Look, I wasn't surprised at the State of the Province address. It followed along the lines set by Jacob Zuma by telling a good story. The DA is on record as saying that we do agree that South Africa is a better place in 2014 and the Eastern Cape is certainly a better place in 2014 than it was in 1994. We'd just come out of apartheid in 1994. A lot of work had to be done. A lot of work has been done, so we give credit for that. But you know, in a developing country, as people develop, they want more. And there's nothing unusual about that, and the ANC needs to understand, and the Premier needs to understand that they can't say, we've done all of these things, it's enough. It's never enough. So I was concerned that the Premier didn't talk about the fact that we still hemorrhage our most important resources out of this province, our human capital. People still leave to go to other provinces to seek their economic prospects because of better economic growth there. The Premier didn't say how we're going to turn that around in the year and years to come. I'm very concerned about that. She mentioned some gains in education, which I think are really fallacious, because our education pass rate is really poor, especially considering that the pass rate has been reduced to 30%, and also that 185,000 learners enrolled at school 12 years ago and only 75,000 wrote matric. That means that 110,000 of those learners were lost in the education system. Those children have got absolutely no prospects for a good independent future. They'll be dependent on the government. They'll become part of the burgeoning group of people that depend on social grants, and that's not a better life. That's actually a bitter life, because if you're dependent on the government for a grant to make a living, you are in a social cul-de-sac or even an economic cul-de-sac. The next issue that really worried me is the fact that the Premier said nothing about post-provisioning in the education system. There are too many schools that don't have any teachers, and there are too many schools that have too many teachers. And those SATU teachers don't want to go to the other schools, they don't want to be redeployed, they'd rather go on strike. Now the Premier said that the school feeding scheme is so much better now, and that kids even want to go to school on Saturday and Sunday. Well, apart from being, a bit of a joke, what I laughed about was the fact that SATU teachers don't even go to school on Mondays to Fridays. Who's going to teach those kids on weekends when they go to weekend school? It's actually just a joke. It's an indication that the ANC is not in touch with reality. And then lastly, or second to last, the Premier's claims about rural development and land reform really ring hollow in my ears. That's one of my passions, and I've been noticing and monitoring what's been happening with rural development and land reform in this province. And apart from the initiatives where Amadlelo Agri are involved, where private-public partnerships ensure accountability and that there's management and that people do their work, resulting in sustainable success, almost all the other projects have failed. Under Zoleka Kapa, Maxima Mase, Kugile and Quinty, you can name them all. In this province, rural development and land reform is chaotic and it hasn't delivered, and it's the one area where we can create a lot of jobs and grow the wealth of this province, but it's not happening. Lastly, it really depresses me that the Premier didn't see fit to dedicate more than one sentence to the state of local government in this province. Local government is where service delivery hits the road. It's not hitting the road. She called on people not to burn things down when they have service delivery protests. I agree. We can't burn anything down if we want more. But the reason they want more is that they're not getting service delivery from local government. Local government is bedeviled by corruption. It's bedeviled by incompetent appointments. It's bedeviled by politicians that intervene and interrupt administrators with their work that they should be done. It's bedeviled by the fact that we appoint people that aren't qualified to do the job, and we turn a blind eye to it. The case in point is the appointment of Noel Peterson and Kamdeboer, where the national minister said he's not fit for the appointment, but MEC Koboshiane endorses the appointment because the ANC municipality wants one of their cadres to be the municipal manager. These are the issues that are going to haunt the ANC in the forthcoming election, because the ANC believes that people will vote for them because they tell the one side of the story or the one side of the coin. That's not going to happen. People are going to vote with their feet because people are unhappy with the state of service delivery in this province, especially at municipal level.